On the night of June 14th, 2017, Munira Mahmood woke suddenly to the sounds of people screaming fire in the Grenfell Tower, a high-rise apartment building in a poorer part of London comprised mostly of immigrants. She resided there with her husband, her father-in-law, and their 2 young children. Munira grabbed her young children and they raced down 5 flights of stairs barefoot in PJs, smoke already filling the stairwells. 72 people died as a result of that fire, and hundreds more had to figure out how to rebuild their lives. Welcome to part 1 of my series, My Roman Empire, Meghan Markle, the HJS, and the article that shouldn't have been published. This first video will focus on Grenfell, the Hubb community kitchen, and the royal family's involvement. The Grenfell fire tragedy put into stark contrast the growing inequality in the UK.
Residents have complained for years that their concerns about safety at the flats were simply being ignored.
One key question was whether council budget cuts were in any way to blame.
To put things into visual terms, here is the Grenfell Tower, and here is Kensington Palace. They are 2.5 miles apart. 2.5 miles from extreme wealth and privilege to a poorer immigrant community. Unsurprisingly, the conversation that followed the Grenfell Tower tragedy quickly turned xenophobic. Author Afua Hirsch noted in her book British about this tragedy, quote, "The slew of racist abuse and virulent hate that can be found in any thread online discussing the Grenfell victims, who happen to be disproportionately Muslims, and the conceptual linking of the dead families to the terrorists at London Bridge and Manchester the month prior, recall this is 2017, speaks loudly of how Muslim has become a racialized, culturally essentialist category in 21st century Britain," end quote. Survivors like Munira were focused on rebuilding their lives, and their new reality for nearly 2 years was hotel living and takeaway vouchers provided by the government. But food wasn't just about sustenance. It was a reminder of home, something real and familiar and grounding. Munira could no longer cook the way she liked to, the way she had been cooking since she was 7 years old. So she decided to do something about it.
Into the local mosque and I asked if I could use the kitchen to cook. The whole idea was just to try and feel normal again and for a few hours forget that something happened.
Thus, the Hubb Community Kitchen was born. With the fire occurring practically in their backyards, the royals were quick to get involved. Queen Elizabeth and Prince William met with first responders and survivors less than 48 hours after the fire. In early September 2017, Prince Harry and Prince William made a joint visit to the support for Grenfell Community Hub in Kensington. On the 1-year anniversary of the fire, Meghan Markle and Queen Elizabeth II observed a moment of silence, 1 second for every victim who lost their lives. Prince William then donned a hard hat and rolled up his sleeves in 2018 to help paint a community center on the TV program DIY SOS to replace the boxing club destroyed by the fire. Prince William and Kate would go on to attend the Grenfell Tower Fire Memorial Service 5 years after the tragedy. These are all very nice, but largely symbolic gestures. And there is a place for that. But it is something that Laura Clancy describes in her book Running the Family Firm as taking while giving. Royals appear to be giving without ceding any power or giving up their, quote, position in the very London borough that facilitated the unequal conditions for the fire, end quote. Even Meghan Markle's eventual charitable work with the Grenfell survivors didn't address the structural issues that led to this problem in the first place. The Duchess did show up, and she showed up again and again and again.
First few months it was twice a week up until the Duchess came. She asked if she could help. I was like, really? She goes, yeah. Sleeves up, I gave her a prawn and she washed like 5 kilos basmati rice. I was like, oh, okay.
Over the course of 8 or 9 months, I just kept going back and visiting them, and I loved these women so much. When I watched these women laughing together and grieving together, I said, why can't you do this every day of the week? And they said, well, we don't have the funds for it. I just looked around and I said, well, we should make a cookbook.
How did we go from this to this? And why was Meghan Markle's participation linked to terrorism and not the rest of the royal families? That we will get into in part 2 when we discuss the Henry Jackson Society.